the like button, subscribe. For the intelligent, black men is relevant. Why ask questions when you know the answer? So we bypass outlast channels, no gossip. We about that life. Tune in, subscribe, hop in the broadcast, stay current. Dennis Spurling podcast, vibe with it. On the couch, leaving your house so you can ride with it. Voice of black excellence with no frontin'. In the space we speak how we feel. The blizzard's coming.
You understand what I'm saying? Hate me all you want to, baby. I don't mind hating me. Hate all you can. Let me go the other way. Hate all you can. Hate everything. But I'm gonna still make you look good. Black men winning. Okay? Come on, somebody type that in the chat room. Black men winning. Okay? Because that's just what's happening. We are winning.
We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning, we winning, we winning, we winning, we winning, we winning, yeah, we winning, we winning. I know they hating out here, yeah. I know they mad, they all in their feelings, but baby I don't care. She calling the police on me and everything, yeah. Somebody need to get on the phone, call my attorney. Dealing with these hard-headed hoes who ain't learning. Acting all ignorant like a motherfucking menace. She better bundle up cause bitches about to be winner. Niggas acting timid, why you think she treat a nigga so bad? Turn her only fucking son into a killer. Can't even distinguish who the women, who the bitches. She broke my nigga, even Jesus can't fix it. Navajo nigga, got a man up in prison, but quick to tell you get your bag up, bitch quit it. Ever heard of Dennis? Yes sir, get your Spurling, we in court early, don't be acting all girly. Keep that same energy, don't need any men. You the man, you the father, you the face of many men. Yep, many Rippleton, taking L's your whole life. While the passport bros taking off the next flight. Some thick, something feminine, rubbing on my shoulders, be a cold day in hell. Blizzard King try to tell you, a new world is coming, bitch, you better stop sinning. See God took Kevin, left your sorry ass with Dennis.
Somebody type of old broad in the chat room. Talking about men, you can't find them. That just means you had your chance, boo. You had your chance, and your chance has passed you by. Your husband done went on to the great beyond. He's not there looking for you no more. You done hit one wall. Somebody type one wall in the chat room. You done hit two walls. Somebody say 3 walls. Yeah. Oh man. What's up? Yeah. Everybody in the chat rooms type, yeah, hit that high note. If you riding down the street in your car, you chilling by yourself at your house, just hit me one of them. Yeah. Hit a high note for me, man. Oh man, what's up, man? Shout out to everybody who's in here, man. My name is Dennis Spurling. Uncle D to the fellas, man, and the Blizzard King to the haters, man. Shout out to everybody who came through. I got my guys in the wrench mob up in here, man. Mr. 43TX was cracker-lating. If you are one of my wrench mobs, you guys have a wrench Make sure you hit the number one. No, matter of fact, let's change it up a little. I want you to type "we up" in the chat room. If you got a wrench, if you are one of the people who got a wrench, you prove yourself. You've been here for a minute. You keep the chat room regulated. Type "we up" in the chat room, man. I want y'all to hit "we up." If you got a wrench, all my wrench mob people, man, type "we up," man. Big shout out to everybody who up in here, man. Let's see who we got showing up. Mr. 43TX, Glow Hardy, what's happening? Mark the Freelancer. Oh my guys, man. Big shout out to everybody. Let's see. Yeah, man. So what's going on? I hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful day. Wherever you are around the world. We got my man Chaos Rain up in here, Urban Eagle, all my guys. That's one thing about my folks. They've been here. You see what I mean? My guys been here. And for you guys, you guys who been here for a minute, you recognize that I pretty much say the same thing all the time. I'm the same person I always been. And, it's important that you understand, for you guys who don't know, a little bit about my own personal history. I recently just turned 50 years old, man. Big 50. Uncle D is 50 years old, man. I got 3 sons. I was married once. And for the most part, if you look at me on paper, it looked like, okay, he's just standard, run of the mill, black man. But when you begin to dig deeper, it's a lot more to it. And the reason that I can come to you every night, every day, every afternoon, and have so much to say and so much poignant, because I didn't start off like this, man. I didn't start off as a Hall of Fame attorney. Are you kidding me? Right? Those of you guys who read my books, Rules to Live By, you know a lot about me. But for the most part, this photograph you see right there, that's my family. That's my mother's side of the family. And what you're looking at is a photo me right there in the middle with my thumb in my mouth with a shirt that many of you guys probably recognize if you had it. That's my little cousin, Shalonda, next to me, leaning off to the side. The one behind me in pigtails with the white shirt, that's my other cousin, Chandra. This bad little boy next to me is Davion. Those of you guys who read my book, that's the little boy I fought every day. This lady off to the right, this is my mother's sister. That's my Aunt Geneva. And these gentlemen, the one with the top hat all the way to the right, that's Uncle Slim. And this picture was probably taken in I was 4 years old. So this picture was taken in 1978 on the east side. Somebody type east side in the chat room. That's the east side of Los Angeles over there by the Pablos. This gentleman over to the right with his shirt off, that's Uncle Robert or Uncle Bob. You guys know that. And these are this consort of gentlemen in the middle. This is just some of the neighborhood fellas. These are Uncle Slim's friend. That's Uncle Sonny. Not really a blood uncle, but for the most part, these was the fellas that would be around the house, And so at the end of the day, man, I'm east side. You see what I'm saying? But I moved to the west side. And after I got a little older, my family moved over near 60th Street. And this is right on the corner of 60th and Normandy, right in the heart of South Central LA. So we went from the east side to the west side. And I grew up in this neighborhood, man. This is where I'm from. This is a picture of me that's about to come up, Venice Beach, California. Man, this had to be like 1995. So you see Uncle D at Venice Beach, California with the Chuck Taylors on, with the fat laces. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, family, and then of course, you guys, I want to make sure I do this. This is my biological father. You see what I mean? I didn't meet him until about 12 years ago. I never knew about him. But that's my biological father, and these people, these is my family and sisters I never knew about. You know what I mean? That's his wife. Beautiful, beautiful people. And when I discovered them, they took me in. So, you know, I look a lot like my mom. And if you look at my Aunt Geneva right here on the far right with the rollers in her hair, that's how my mama looked. They from Mississippi. And this is my grandma. I can't believe I forgot. This lady right there to the left with the grandchildren in front of you, see me in the front with my thumb in my mouth. You see my cousins Chandra and Shalonda when they were little girls. That's my grandma right there, man, born and raised in Mississippi. And, you know, she was the one that took care of me. You see what I mean? But as you can see, my Aunt Geneva really looks like my mom. So that's where I get my color from, because my grandma married a man, Grandpa Teal, and y'all know him from my books. He was real light-skinned. If you looked at him from a distance, now he was a cold cat. But if you looked at him from the distance, he looked like a white man down there in Mississippi. But for the most part, you know, my experience is 100% Black. You know, growing up in South Central LA, you know, from the east side to the west side, you know, and I grew up around a lot of gang activity, you know, and the thing about it is, man, I got a soft spot in my heart. Okay, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I got a soft spot in my heart for the brothers that, especially if you from LA, Compton, Watts, Inglewood, you know, it's just, I understand that, because oftentimes what would happen is the gangsters knew that, you know, I was destined for different things. For you guys who don't know, I went to Manual Arts High School, and that's why I played football. And I actually was able to find some footage, man. Check this out. I want y'all to check this footage out, man. This is me in 1991. I'm playing left tackle, so you're gonna see me blow this hole open right here. The far left band. My running back, that's me right there. And so I played for Manual Arts High School. I got a couple more. Just indulge me for a minute, man. We gonna get, this is all part of the program. Y'all just indulge me for a minute, man. Let me explain to those who don't know who I am, and what motivates me. You see, you got to understand, I am 50 years old, and I come from a generation where they told us that we wouldn't live to be 26. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, for me being who I am, here's another one. And for you guys, this is when I think this is this might be either Dennis or Westchester. That's me right there. You're going to see me break the line. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. You're going to see me break the line. That's me right there, far left, offensive tackle. And you're going to see that's me right there, 3-point stance. I got the linebacker, boom, blew that hole open. Here comes my running back, and he ran straight for the touchdown. See what I mean? So, you know, I say that to say a lot of my homeboys that I played football with, many of them are in jail. Some of them in the penitentiary. Some of them still alive. Some of them really didn't do too much for themselves. But the bottom line is, you know, I grew up with a lot of gangsters. I grew up with a lot of the dudes that we would call Pookie and Ray Rays. You see what I mean? But back then we didn't call them Pookie and Ray Rays. That was just the lifestyle. That's just how things were. And so nevertheless, man, I got a big heart, you know, for this is me again right there. If you look, I froze it. That's me right there blocking down as a left tackle. And you're gonna see the running back come right off my back. Bam. Touchdown. That's over at Manual Arts High School. 1991, that's my senior year, man. So I was always a tough kid. You know, I always hung out with the tough kids. And oftentimes the tough kids were, you know, in and out of the system. Some of them represented certain neighborhoods. Some were blue rag affiliates, others were red rag affiliates. Bottom line is, when they hit that football field, we all played on the same team. So I had an opportunity to really just, you know, just enjoy both, you know, the football aspect, and just really get to know some of my homeboys. As you guys can recognize, some of the men that raised me, you know, because of where we live in the Pablos, near the Pablos, at least on the east side. Those of you guys who are familiar with LA politics could probably recognize that even if you're not from the projects, even if you're not from the hood, there are certain requirements that you have to have if you're in the hood. And so being on that side, you know, there was a lot of red rag affiliation. I never gang bang. And even the gangsters recognized that, you know, he's special. He's going to do something with his life. So they always kind of looked out for me. There was a time I had some issues up in at my junior high school, John Muir Junior High. And the homies was like, yeah, whatever, you know, whatever you need. And this is on the other side. You see what I'm saying? These were some NHCs, and I don't want to go too deep into that, but basically they were blue rag affiliate. They like, yeah, you're a little homie from the hood. You good. You know, we're not gonna let those fellas from the other side just disrespect one of our little homies, you know? And I thought that was cool, you know, and for a while I'd hang out with him, I'd shoot craps, and I'm talking about at 10 years old. You understand me? Shout out to my man Salty Balls. I appreciate you, bro. Good looking out for the first one in. But the bottom line is, man, you grow, you mature. As you guys know, I went to historically Black university. That was very good for me because it allowed me to see Black people in a different light. Whereas I hadn't seen that many positive Black people. I got a chance to meet some great people. This is me. This is Dr. Khalid Muhammad. This is me right there in the back, as you see. These are some of my friends at Grambling State University when he came to attend. This is our organization. Got some members of the student members of the Nation of Islam. And for the most part, man, my experience was all Black. You know, and you guys, some of you know me from my friendship with Kevin Samuels. You know, that's us down in Miami. We did an interview, but he, you know, passed away before that interview was published. So that's actually like a lost interview. But bottom line is, man, I've always been inundated with Blackness. Now, I don't call myself a pro-Black because I really feel like these pro-Blacks these so-called pro-Blacks are really just modern day pimps, and they just taking advantage of you. Really, you don't have to label yourself anything. You understand what I'm saying? I know who you are. You know who you are by the way you represent. Nevertheless, I got a soft spot in my heart for the gangsters, you know, and I know it's going to sound a little biased, but I got a soft spot in my heart for the young brothers, especially out of South Central LA, Compton, Watts, Southern California, because that's where I grew up. And it's just a very difficult place to live and grow up. And so anybody out of there is going to have war wounds and tags and scars. And you guys can hear that in me. Here I am now, you know, just passing my 5th century of life, and you can still hear it. You see, you can still hear the pain. You can still hear the sorrow, you know, and a lot of my compassion that I have for you guys is because I've lost so many good friends to that lifestyle, you know. And again, I never gang bang, but it's some people on both sides that I loved and respected. I even got some SA homies, you know, some Mexican homies, some El Salvadorian homies. I played football with these dudes. Half the offensive line that I played for was Latino, you know? And so that being the case, brothers, I never forgot where I came from. But the bottom line is, the whole point of this video is this. I'm telling you guys, it's cool to be you. Now, what sparked this conversation? Let me put this up. All right, I want you guys to check this out. Now I want you to just roll with me for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna set the scene. This young brother right here. I don't want the music to play, so I'm gonna turn it down because I want to have a serious moment. Let me know if you're with me, man. And I'm sharing, I'm opening up, and I'm talking to you guys because many of you all need to hear this, and it's very important. So this brother right here, he just graduated from UC UC Davis. This is the African American graduation, right? And it's James Brown. Somebody decided to videotape him and put James Brown to the background while he's doing this thing. And he's on beat, man. He is getting it, man. Look at it. He's sea walking. He's throwing up the set. I think that was we'll say he's well, I don't want to say anything, but the bottom line is he did the sea walk. People look like they having fun. He's enjoying himself. You see what he did though. He came out and he hit it. Boom, boom, bam. Just so you, bam, bam. Let's turn on. Let's what? Bam. Hold on. Sea walk, throwing up the set. Bop, woo, wop, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. Here we go. Now you say, yeah, give me it. No, jump back. Bam. Yeah, he's exuberant. He's happy, throwing up his representing again. He's being his black self, brothers. Somebody type his black self in the chat room. He's being his black self, man. This brother just got his AA degree, walking across the stage. This is the African American cultural graduation. Okay? Now, the thing is, brothers, a lot of people had a problem with his exuberant celebration. A lot of people they took issue with that. I posted this video up. I thought it was pretty cool, man. I'm gonna let it play. I thought it was pretty cool, but a lot of people took issue with it, you know? And I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Can we talk? Somebody type, can we talk in the chat room? Can we talk? So, again, you know, this young brother, and his name is Little Boy Blue. His name is Jesse Williams. And, you know, yeah, you might not like his antics, but there were so many brothers who had so many negative things to say about this young man doing what he did on the stage. You know, he received his AA degree, and if you hear his story and what he came from, at the end of the day, I understand. On top of that, here's the thing, that was funky. You know what I'm saying? If I played it to the James, it's on my Instagram page. So if you guys want to hear it to the beat, I put it on 3 or 4 different James Brown beats. It's funky, man. It's funky. Jesse Little Boy Blue Williams, he just graduated from UC Davis. That's the African American graduation ceremony designated for that, right? It was funky. And he walked across the stage. He broke into that James Brown routine. He followed it up with the sea walk. And it was truly amazing and entertaining. And I shared this moment on my Instagram page, and it was complimented by those James Brown songs. But unfortunately, a lot of Black people, specifically Black men, you condemn this young man saying his actions were out of place. But here's the thing, brothers. I specifically said the purpose of that event was for Black people to celebrate in our own way, amongst our own people. You see? But most of your comments, brothers, you ridicule this young man, highlighting, to me, a significant issue we face today, brothers. And the thing is, we've reached a point where we are ashamed of all things Black. We're now shunning aspects of our culture that are unfairly associated with ghetto and degenerate experiences. Now, I spoke to you about my experiences. East side to west side, growing up in South Central LA. Many of you, I just told you, I didn't even know who my real dad was until like 2012, which is like 12 years ago. So my experience is not only Black, but it is ghetto, it's hood. Now, of course, I pulled myself together, got myself up, and here I am today. You understand? But the thing is, brothers, and I want to talk to you, and I want you to understand, it's so easy to get caught into the vilification of Black culture because it's become synonymous with degeneracy. And what I'm going to ask you brothers to do today is please don't don't lose yourself. Let me jump back like it's 1970. Don't lose your souls, brothers. Running away from who you are, because that's what makes you special. Somebody type, "I'm special" in the chat room. Somebody type, "The black man is special" in the chat room. Come on now. Let's get some call and response. See, we must remember to embrace and celebrate the positive aspects of our culture. It's these unique aspects that make us who we are. And that's what makes us special. We should not allow shame and societal pressures to strip us of our rich heritage and the joy that comes with that. There's degeneracy in all cultures. And we, we get vilified. But see, the problem is ours has become synonymous with degeneracy. Whereas other cultures are able to separate the degenerate ones and that degenerate culture from their culture, or one complements the other. Ours is, all the black culture is considered degenerate at this point. And, what we need to do is we need to stop letting the world associate everything that is tacky, classless, bad, and degenerate with black people and black culture. See, we need to learn to separate the sheep from the goat, the wheat from the chaff. You see? We don't need to always get offended when someone or the world insults black culture or our people, because oftentimes it's really directed at the negative and degenerate aspects of the culture, not towards dignified, upright, black, hardworking black folks who are law-abiding. See, it don't always apply to you. And I've said this before, there needs to be a great divide. Somebody type "great divide" in the chat room. Okay? We need to divide the degenerate from the upright. You see, we need to unify, but only with the like-minded. So if you're a black man and you're caught up in degeneracy, you see, you have an obligation to begin to separate yourself. You're viewed as degenerate by association, and that's not your fault, but you have an obligation to separate yourself. And we have to continue to represent well in order to try to change the narrative. Yeah, there's power and unity, you see? But it comes from black men unifying amongst themselves first. Now, here's the thing. Since the 1960s, that was the last time we had unity, before black American women chose the government and government assistance over the black family. And of course, they were hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray in the process. Okay? And as the black woman goes, so goes the black community, because the black community is and always has been matriarchal, or a matriarchal state. And when we see black men build their self-worth, that's often looked down upon amongst the black women in whole as a group. But we still have to do that, you see? Because see, this system that we live in, the dominant society, and unfortunately our own lovely ladies, they want to keep us in a subservient position and under their thumb. And that's why it's important for us to unite. They don't want to see us win. In fact, black culture, the way it is right now, is designed to emasculate black men. Somebody type "emasculate black men" in the chat room. And the way we've adapted to that is we've developed some coolness. Somebody type "cool" in the chat room. Come on, man. A cool poise in the chat room. We've developed swag. Somebody type swag in the chat room. It's a cool poise and swag. And that's our own invention that protects us from the repression and chastisement that we suffer from the matriarchy and the dominant society. Now, I'm not playing victim. I'm not here to play victim. See, that would be making an excuse as to why I can't proceed or triumph against these obstacles, or why I can't be the man that I should be. That's not what I'm saying. Because see, despite all of the adversity that Black men deal with and have faced from this society and from our lovely ladies, Black men still out earn them. We're still doing well. We're still the most active fathers in our children's lives. So we're doing fine. You see? And a lot of Black American women can't see that because they're not in a man's space. But Black men are winning. Somebody type Black men winning in the chat room. Somebody type Black men winning in the chat room. Let's make it happen now. Let's get some interactive YouTube. Somebody type Black men winning in the chat room. And I'm going to read all the super chats in a minute. I see them coming. I see the cash apps coming. But I want to get through this. See? Now, I don't think Black American culture alone is a problem. What's happened is we've become a safe place for Africans from the Caribbean. And what they do is they come over to our culture. They bring their degenerate aspects of their culture, and then they dip in and dip out and then delineate. I've talked about this before, and I know I got some Caribbean family. Look, the man that I put up there, my family, my biological family, even though they didn't raise me, they're Caribbean people. They're Black people, but they're Caribbean people. They put the pictures up earlier. You clearly see they're African descent. So I'm not trying to knock you. I'm just speaking the truth. I want y'all to hear me. Do you want to hear the truth? If you don't want to hear the truth, you can go to somebody else's page and they'll lie to you and make you feel good. I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to speak the truth to our African brothers. You owe us a debt. You might not have liked it. I talked about reparations, but it's true. Our Caribbean brothers and sisters, y'all do a lot of degenerate stuff, and then you bring it over to us, and then you get rid of it. You blame us for the degeneracy, and you go on back and start talking about, how we don't have culture. Okay? And so we're going to speak the truth here. But see, the thing is, brothers, anything that happens in Black America, anything that happens in the United States, you have to remember that our culture, which bears our name, carries that legacy. So we have a duty to set the record straight. You see, we have to start making others own their degenerate behavior. We got our own, okay? Right? We got our own degenerates. But we have to make them start holding their own degeneracy, and we do it through facts. Even if we want to talk about the over-sexualization of rap music, especially that hardcore, explicit kind. It's not really homegrown. It's not a homegrown phenomenon. It's an import. And if you want to look at the architects behind that seismic shift in rap's tone and content, they aren't African American. They're not foundational Black American. They hail from African and Caribbean roots, regions known for their unapologetically bold and hypersexualized cultural expression. Somebody type Carnival in the chat room. Okay? Just so happens that my biological family is from Trinidad, and they do some wild stuff down there. I wasn't raised with them. You see? I was raised Black American. I had a Black American father until I confirmed that he wasn't my biological father, but he raised me. And as I said, my mother's side of the family is from Mississippi, and I was raised on the east side of LA as a Black American. But if we want to speak the truth, the Trinidadians, the Jamaicans, a lot of those Caribbeans, look, when they came, they infused rap with their level of raw, unfiltered sexual energy. And that's a stark departure from its original American roots, from a hip, a hop, a hippie to the hip, and don't stop a rop and the up jump the boogie to the bang bang boogie, the up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Right? That's where hip hop started. That's not what we have now. Now we got something totally different. And see, this isn't just about music evolving. It's about cultural transplants that reshape the landscape of rap, for better or worse. Some of the nastiest rappers of all time. Uncle Luke. Somebody type Uncle Luke in the chat room. Somebody type 2 Live Crew in the chat room. Uncle Luke is rated as the nastiest rapper of all time. And he has a mother from the Bahamas and a father from Jamaica. Lil' Kim, raised in New York. Both of her parents are from Trinidad. The second nastiest hip hop artist of all time with those explicit lyrics. Number 3, Nicki Minaj, raised in New York, both parents from Trinidad. Cardi B, raised in New York, mother's Dominican, father's Trinidadian. Foxy Brown, raised in New York, she's Trinidadian. Trina, somebody typed the nasty. Trina, you know Trina, raised in Miami, Trina. Her father's Dominican, her mother's Bahamian. Young M.A., right? You guys know Young M.A., the one with the rainbow? Her mother's Jamaican, her father's Puerto Rican. All of these people are Caribbean. These are people, if you look up the most explicit rappers of all time, this is who comes up. Here's another one. The brother's name is Akinyele. He's an American rapper known for his sexually explicit lyrics. And he had a underground hit back in 1996 called Put It In Your Mouth. Y'all heard that? I remember that song from college. He's Nigerian and of Costa Rican descent. So my whole point is that even when you look into our music, when you look at the influx of degenerate culture, it's not all Black American. What you see this young boy doing right here, Little Boy Blue, that's Black American right there. And yet, it would be inappropriate, but you see all them Black people up there? That's how we celebrate at the African American graduation. I know. I go hard on the Pookie and Ray Rays all the time. And as I said earlier, I got a soft spot in my heart for the gangsters, especially from the Southern California, South Central LA. I got a soft spot. You see? But see, the thing is, fam, brothers, Black people often, we get, look, we're ashamed of some of the negative aspects of modern day Black culture. Baby mama culture. Type that in the chat room. Okay? And oftentimes, it's so bad that when people like me support or adhere to traditional values, right? They don't want it, they don't like that. That you will face resentment. Okay? That for saying that. If you value investing and spending time with your children as opposed to partying and doing dumb stuff, you get hit with a lot of resentment. Now, the thing is, when you become successful, when you become wealthy, then everybody wants to try to get money out of you. And then you'll become hated when you tell them no. Somebody type no in the chat room. Now, see, what I do is, and you guys have been introduced to my children, and some of you all are familiar with my wife. I don't allow degenerate behavior in my household, irrespective of how I grew up in South Central LA. We're not playing dominoes over here. We're not playing spades. We don't even have alcohol in our house like that. You see? And I don't care what the culture says. We are going to be responsible and respectable members of society, as far as my household is concerned. Now, here's the problem. Somebody typed internalized racism in the chat room. Somebody type internalized racism in the chat room. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. Somebody type internalized racism in the chat room. And I know it's a lot of you conservatives out there, you black conservatives say racism doesn't exist. That's just stupid, man. They had signs up that told you racism existed. You black folks go that way, you black folks, you white folks go that way. The people who created those signs are still alive. Okay? So racism is alive and well, is American as apple pie. It's not going anywhere. It's just something you got to deal with like bad weather. Somebody type internalized racism in the chat room. Because see, what we're not talking about is that outside racism. We're talking about internalized racism that occurs as far as when black men, when we begin to believe and accept the negative stereotypes about our own race. And what this does is it leads to a devaluation of our culture and our identity. And so black men, what we need to do is begin to embrace the positive aspects of our heritage and reject the negative. Okay? Otherwise, you're accepting the internalized negative portrayals, and that's going to lead to self-hate. Somebody type self-hate in the chat room. Somebody type low self-esteem in the chat room. Somebody type a disconnection in the chat room. And when I said disconnection, I'm talking about a disconnection from yourself and who you are. Your soul brothers. Somebody type soul brother in the chat room. That's who you are, black man. And when you as a black man begin to accept these negative stereotypes about our culture, then we start to view ourselves and our heritage as inferior or unworthy. Ain't no white boy doing this. You see this brother right here? This is soul on beat. You can tap the beat out just watching him move. That's who you are, hardly. That's who you are. See, when black men begin to accept the negative stereotypes about our culture and we're just rejecting just bundling it all, everything about black is negative, then we start to view ourselves and our heritage as inferior, unworthy. And this leads to self-loathing and rejection. And when you're rejecting your culture, you're rejecting yourself, because it's an integral part of your individual self-conception and self-perception. And that influences how you see yourself and how you relate to the world around you. And that's not healthy. Now, the conflict that's between our cultural identity and the negative portrayals that we've internalized can cause a significant amount of emotional and psychological distress. There's a reason why some of you brothers, you're going overseas because you want to have a good time, but you still your authentic selves. But there's a lot of brothers that are running from black culture. You see? And that's that's psychological distress, because you can't run from yourself. When you start believing negative portrayals, that undermines your individual confidence in your abilities and your worth, and that's not healthy. It diminishes your self-esteem. It affects a lot of aspects of your life, including your academic performance. There was a study. Where little kids were told that they're successful. They did great on a test. They weren't even given the test results, but they told they did well. And then there was a group that they let them see how poorly they did. The group of kids who received those positive affirmations did better on the next round of tests. The kids who heard the negativity did worse. So what does that say? What happens to you when you have diminished self-esteem? It affects your academic performance, your career aspirations. Remember Malcolm X? He told his teacher he wanted to be a lawyer, and she told him he would be a good janitor. That affected him. It also affects your personal relationships. There's a reason why black folks in general have the highest rate of divorce. It has a lot to do with that psychological distress. Are you with me? I want to make sure you guys are hearing me. Because see, we always look outward, and it's cool. There's a lot of issues that we as black men face. external, but the internal, the self-development, the introspection. That's something that needs to be dealt with. We have internalized these negative portrayals of ourselves, and it causes Black men to distance themselves from their cultural roots and heritage. This is the good and the bad. And all this is going to do is cause for you to lose your cultural knowledge, your tradition, and your community ties. And some of them ties you don't want. But see, the problem is feeling disconnected from your cultural identity is going to lead to a sense of isolation and alienation from yourself and your community at large. And this alienation, all it does is further exasperate the feelings of loneliness and depression. Look, you can go overseas all you want. But I've told you, brothers, before, I'm going to tell you again, there's no geographical solution for an emotional problem. And that alienation and loneliness you feel, and many of you all know just what I'm talking about. You feel that Black culture is so degenerate, you don't even want to be bothered with it. You want to disassociate with it. You want to get that Asian, Latino, or white woman and just go immerse yourself in that culture, but you will never be of those people's culture. You still gonna be a Black man, no matter what color the woman is that you insert your manhood in or who has your children. Remember that. The struggle that Black men have between our true identity and these internalized negative portrayals lead to something like an identity crisis. And that's why brothers find it difficult to reconcile who they are with who they feel they should be. And this causes confusion and distress. When Black men internalize these negative portrayals, you unconsciously perpetuate the stereotypes about yourself and others. And this reinforces the societal biases, and it interferes with efforts to promote a more positive and accurate representation of our culture. Look, low self-esteem, self-hate, that negatively affects relationships with family, friends, and the wider community. How you gonna love this woman from another race and you can't even love yourself? You don't have to disconnect from your cultural identity and create barriers just to go be with somebody else and immerse yourself in another culture. You don't have to do that. The other thing is, if you hate yourself so much, you hate your culture so much, that's going to contribute to your mental health problems. It's going to create anxiety and depression and chronic stress. Me putting this video up of this young brother garnered hundreds and hundreds of responses. That's what the problem was, brothers. That's a problem. And when I saw that, I addressed it. Look, you might not like it, but that's still who we are. That exuberance, that flamboyantness, that's the Black man. And below, I see athleticism, I see timing, I see soul. I promise you, if that was a white man out there dancing like that, moving and had that sort of timing, you all will be okay with it. And I'm telling you, it's okay to be okay with it. It's appropriate. He is at the African-American graduation. He's getting his AA degree. That boy is probably no more than 19, 20 years old. Coming from where he came from, the same place I came from. If I could dance like that, I might do it now. But see, the feelings of inadequacy and the self-hate, this leads to destructive behaviors, substance abuse, drinking heavily, aggression, self-harm. And your self-harm might not be, I'm not saying you're going out there trying to unalive yourself. You might be over drinking, staying up too late, dealing with women you shouldn't be dealing with. Now, if we are able to separate the good from the bad and reject those negative portrayals and say, no, that's not Black men, then you develop a sense of pride in your heritage and your identity. And that pride is going to foster resilience against these societal biases And it's going to help promote some psychological well-being. And that's what you need, brothers. You got a self-esteem problem. Somebody type self-esteem problem in the chat room. If you begin to embrace the positive cultural aspects of your identity, then what's going to happen is black men will begin to pursue the goals and ambitions with confidence. Look, you don't think me meeting Dr. Khalid Muhammad at Grambling State University and being surrounded by all these beautiful black people, you don't think that made me feel better about myself and my goals and my ambitions? You don't think that gave me confidence seeing these other intelligent, educated black folks? That inspired me, all these black professors. You don't think that inspired me coming from South Central LA? And look what it's done. It's allowed me to contribute positively to our community at large. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why I started off like that. I went from being something like this young man with all the issues that he faced to being your Uncle D that stands in the cut for you, black man, that stands as a pillar of defense to help defend your reputation, that stands as a role model for how you should raise and love your young sons and teach them respect, to create a better generation, to make a better world. I'm the one that stands up to these big, bad, lovely, these unlovely ladies and says, hey, get up off my brothers. Because I love you so much and I respect you so much and I know what you can do. And more importantly, I know there isn't going to be no black community unless you have hardworking, respectable, honest black men leading it. That's it. Now, brothers, you need to learn the difference between black culture and hood culture. See, being illiterate, being unable to read, that's not synonymous with black culture. That's just ignorant. Unfortunately, being black oftentimes changes depending on who you're talking to. We spend so much time speaking and defending hoodlums and gangsters and killers and whatnot, then society thinks that that's what black culture is. Black culture is synonymous with this ghetto culture, and that's just not true. Just like Chris Rock, the comedian, said, it's black folk and then there's N-words. And one of them has to go for the other one to exist. So let's stop supporting hood-minded black men and women. But when we see a black man who's come up out the hood like myself, and he's seeing what you recognize as his exuberance, like this young man on this, let's applaud him. I was a little ghetto when I got to college. And some of you all who grew up in some of these urban inner cities, you was a little hood too. You were a little rough around the edges too. But when you see a black man trying to do better, then let's applaud him. Let's go out of our way not to put other black men down if we can, brothers. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit the #1 button, man. Somebody type Soul Brother in the chat room. Somebody type Soul Brother in the chat room. Come on now. This is where we at today. Somebody type Soul Brother #1 in the chat room. That's what I want you to do. Be right back.
Dennis Spurling podcast, click your mouse pad. Yeah, we out back. Hit the like, hit subscribe. Don't just hate watch, cause we outside. Let them hate watch, go and play pop. We just lay back. He don't play that. We don't play back. We don't play back. We go way back. Black men, yeah, we earn something. Tune in, gotta learn something. Uncle D podcast, bump it. Likes up, hit the sub button. Black men, yeah, we earn something. Tune in, gotta learn something. Uncle D podcast, bump it. Likes up, hit the sub button. This is Dennis Spurling podcast. Don't just hate watch, hit subscribe and let them know we outside. Don't hold hate, donate. Super chat, cash app. Put something in the collection plate. Church.
hard on. I want y'all to make sure y'all hit the number 1 button. And we're going to kind of get back to what we like to do over here, man. I need y'all to check in at a certain point when it's time to check in. I need to checking in to start happening again. We got to go ahead and get this algorithm pumping. Have pride in yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's the other thing. Don't let this world keep kicking you and making you feel like you're not good enough. You plenty. I don't care if you're 10 pounds, 50 pounds overweight, 30 pounds underweight. You don't make enough money. You make too much money. You're too tall. You're too short. You're perfect the way you are. And I want you brothers to begin to take that. A lot of you guys did not have father figures to reinforce these things in you. You don't have that manly fatherly love supporting you in the back of your head saying, son, you can go out there. The world is yours. I'm not your father's, but I love you like I'm your own uncle. We all one people. And so I'm telling you, brothers, I love you as a person that most people would say is successful. I'm telling you the opportunity is out there. And most of you guys are doing much better than I was at your age. You're more confident. You got the world, you got the benefit of people like me who've made mistakes. And I want to see you ball. That's it. Self. All right, welcome back. So again, the title of this broadcast is "It's Cool to Be You, Bro." All right, it's cool to be you, bro. And I want you brothers to get comfortable with your black selves, no matter where you are around the world. Shout out to the passport bros. Be comfortable with who you are. Be comfortable with yourself. Recognize there's a difference between this negative aspects of black culture and culture at large. And we want to talk about that a little bit because I'm going to empower you with facts. Okay. And so you can take this and roll with it. See, black men, you need to embrace your cultural heritage and personal identity. And this sort of encouragement, let's break it down with several key facts. Let's start off first. You got to recognize the value of heritage or cultural pride. And by embracing your heritage, brothers, right, you can take pride in the rich history and the traditions and the contributions of black culture. And this pride that you have is going to help counter some of the negative stereotypes and misrepresentations that are often portrayed in the mainstream media. Now, again, I jumped down on our brothers from the Caribbean and our African brothers, but at the end of the day, we are one big global African group. And at the point where they decide to throw down their arms and unify with us, and we cool with it. But nevertheless, we share a very rich history, traditions, and contributions. And we can take credit for that. If we look at that great African civilizations, Egypt, or what they call Kemet, KMT. Somebody type KMT in the chat room. Their contribution of mathematics, architecture. Look at those pyramids and all their early writing systems, hieroglyphics. The Greeks came to Egypt as students and learned from the Egyptians, who were people who came from the people of Nubia, a jet black, thick lip, broad-nosed group of melanated people. These modern-day Egyptians that they have, those are a mixture of people. They're a mixture. Those are not the people that built the pyramids. The pyramids pre-existed those people. All the great structures, everything came out of the south. The Nile flows from the south to the north. So the people started in the south, which is Sudan, and they migrated north over time. And if you go to the blue and the white Nile, where the Nile merges, these people already had these great structures. These are black people. So irrespective of what these folks are trying to tell you, the great pyramids, the great structures, and everything that made Egypt great was designed and built by the minds of black people, specifically black men. So that's yours. The Mali Empire. Somebody type Mali Empire. It was known for its wealth and its universities, There was a great city called Timbuktu. It was a center of learning in the world. There's another kingdom of Kush. And it was notable for its powerful queens, and even they had pyramids. And if we want to fast forward to foundational Black American culture, which of course had an influx of Caribbeans and other folks in the Harlem Renaissance. Somebody type Harlem Renaissance in the chat room. That was a cultural and societal or social and artistic explosion in the 1920s in the center of Harlem, New York. Somebody type Uptown in the chat room. People like Langston Hughes, who was a great poet, Zora Neale Hurston, a great author, Duke Ellington, famous musician, they were all prominent, and so many more. These are things you can take pride in, not just the civil rights movement, but we can talk about that too. We had leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a very young man when he took up this mantle. Malcolm X, Thurgood Marshall, Rosa Parks, organizations like the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, Black people. They fought for racial equality and justice, not just for Black Americans, but for all people. These people coming up here wouldn't be here but for them. These folks who came here after the civil rights got established, they wouldn't be here all these years. They wouldn't be here but for the efforts of foundational Black Americans. This is something you can take pride in. You had landmark events like the Montgomery bus boycott or the March on Washington and the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which all people of color benefited from. These are ours. Now, you could take the opportunity to nitpick each one and say why this is not and that's not good. You can do that. But I don't see Europeans nitpicking Christmas like that, or some of their holidays, which have a pagan origin or were just made up out of nowhere. They don't talk about their movements. But you sit and talk about yours, and that has a lot to do with negative, low self-esteem. See? We have traditions. Somebody type Kwanzaa in the chat room. It's a celebration of African heritage, or our African heritage. It's something that we observe from December 26th to January 1st, and it focuses on several principles, such as unity and self-determination, things that are good and positive. And yeah, you may not like the origins of it, but who cares? It's positive. It's good for us. It's good for us. Juneteenth just passed. It celebrates the emancipation of African Americans. By the time they realized, hey, we free, it was already June 19th, 1865. The Emancipation Proclamation had been filed. Very interesting, because President Lincoln said, well, if I sign this Emancipation Proclamation, this was his legal quandary. If I sign this Emancipation Proclamation, then I'm technically freeing slaves or freeing people in a country, i.e. the South, the Confederate States, that I probably don't have the power to do. But if I don't do it, then it almost signifies that I don't have the power over that separate state. And we're arguing that we do have power. So it was a very interesting quagmire that Lincoln was in. But nevertheless, he did the right thing and signed it. And by the time the news got to the brothers and sisters down in the southern states, June 19th, 1865, and I believe the first celebration was here in Texas, down in Galveston. But nevertheless, that is something joyous that we can celebrate. And oftentimes it includes festivities, parades, music, and cultural performances. When you're over there in Ethiopia, when you're down in the Dominican Republic, and you're in Colombia, and you're in Thailand, and you're in what's the name of that? When you're in the Philippines, tell them about your cultural traditions like Kwanzaa and Juneteenth. Tell them about gospel music, a genre rooted in the spirituals and hymns from African Americans' church experience, which was our cultural center. It came out of our souls and the pain and the heartache of being separated from our families and being separated from our people and our loved ones and being punished and unjustly. This came up out of our soul. Somebody type soul, brother, in the chat room. So many influential figures like Mahalia Jackson, James Cleveland, and even other contemporary artists like Kirk Franklin, they all got it from that. That's who we are. That's soul. When you see this young brother, Dan, let me show you this one, how this conversation started. This is what soul looks like. You got to have soul to be able to move like that, man. Oh, I ain't never seen nobody but a black man move like this, brother. Somebody type soul, brother, in the chat room. His exuberant way of celebrating his success, his triumph over all the adversity that he and so many other of you had to deal with, along with myself, coming up in the ghettos, in the hoods of these urban inner cities. For him to be able to walk across that stage and receive his degree, which is a signature or signifies that, you know what, I'm gonna be able to do better. And he still maintains his black self. That's what I'm talking about, brothers. Somebody type soul, brother, in the chat room. Somebody type I love my black self in the chat room. I want you brothers to look at that white woman sitting next to you that you decide to marry, and you say, I love my black self to your white girlfriend. Go ahead, brothers. Hallelujah. Go ahead, tell her. Tell your white girlfriend, your Latino girlfriend, your Asian girlfriend, I love my black self. For real, I know I'm saying it in jest, but I'm keeping it 100 with you. You can immerse yourself in blackness and you just gonna be that little, and wherever you at, you just be that little spot of blackness right there. You be who you are. I'm saying this in jest, but I mean it. Wherever you are in this white world, recognize who you are. You a black man, and you need to love your black self. Love yourself for all the contributions that black folk, especially black men, have contributed. Jazz originated in New Orleans amongst the African-American communities. You got legends like Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Miles Davis. The blues, which gave birth to all of these modern genres that we have, they call rock and roll. Some of the key figures were B.B. King, Muddy Waters. These are legends. This came out of the minds and the souls and the spirits of black men. Hip hop, at its height, a global phenomenon, started right there in the Bronx in the 1970s. All these people like Grandmaster Flash, Tupac, Shakur, Jay-Z, all these other people, black folks. These are the contributions, and that's just music. What about literature? Toni Morrison, she won a Nobel Prize. Maya Angelou, for her autobiographical works of poetry. All of these beautiful black people. You got some modern day contemporary writers like Ta-Nehisi Coates and all these other folks, but the bottom line is you can pick apart these individuals, but at the end of the day, they contribute to the collective experience and success of black people in general. Science and innovation. George Washington Carver, the president of the United States, would go down to Tuskegee to speak to George Washington Carver. The man innovated agriculture and the practices, and he came up with crop rotation. These are what black men did. Why can't you take pride in that? That has nothing to do with ghetto culture. Why don't we highlight that? Look at Katherine Johnson. This black woman, a HBCU graduate, a historically black university graduate. Her calculations were critical to the success of NASA's space missions, man. Our black hands and our black minds and our black souls touch every aspect of this country's existence. Dr. Charles Drew, this man pioneered methods for storing blood plasma. He set up the first blood banks. You know how many lives this innovation has saved? Blood banks, blood transfusions. This wasn't happening before that. This was from the mind of a black man. Why don't you take credit for that? And I mean, we don't even need to talk about sports. Name any sport in America that black people didn't have their hand in or don't have an icon in. Hell, the first hockey players were black folks out of Canada. Then you got people like Jackie Robinson, who broke all the color barriers in Major League Baseball. Olympians like Jesse Owens, who directly challenged the racial prejudices, and he won. He ain't just in there and compete. He went and won. That says a lot. You got modern athletes like Serena Williams, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, who dominated their sports. Who dominated their sports outright. This is blackness at its finest. We can speak on that, brothers. Somebody type soul brother number 1 in the chat room. Don't lose yourselves. Don't lose your blackness because you're ashamed of some aspects of this ghetto culture that's become synonymous with blackness. That's not us. We got it all. Art. Jacob Lawrence. The man is known for dynamic portrayals of African-American life and history. Carol Walker. She's a contemporary artist, known for exploration of race and gender and identity. Hell, even when we get down to the food, you wouldn't even want to eat in America if there wasn't black people in here putting our seasonings in it. Somebody type seasoning in the chat room. These soul traditions, which include dishes like fried chicken. Hey, y'all better stop running away from fried chicken. You better stop it. You like fried chicken, and you like collard greens, and you like cornbread. These sort of influences of African-American culinary practices on American cuisine have had a dynamic change. Have you been to England? Have you eaten what they eat? You wouldn't even want to eat that. That's what happens when there ain't no black people around in the kitchen cooking. The English are still unhappy. There are still some very unhappy people with bad teeth right now. But it's that soul that we brought to this United States, which has made it different from all these other European-based countries. Hear me. We always talk about the contributions of black folk, but we never talk about the contributions of black folk in detail. You always tell people we built this country. No, we didn't build this country. We innovated this country. We built it, then innovated, then re-innovated it again, and we're still at it, man. And we also have a very unique identity in that our heritage and our identity make us different. We didn't immigrate to this country. And irrespective of what these folks who are telling you that we were here already, that's just not true. That takes away from our greatness. We started from the bottom, now we here. Let's say that again. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom of the hulls of the slave ships that came to this country. Beginning in 1619, all the way up until the last one hit the shores of Alabama, the Cotilda. That's how we came here. And look at us now. 63% of black men have reached the middle class. We got more black men in higher education and in prison, and they've done everything. They hit us with HIV, the criminal injustice, the criminal justice, over incarceration. They hit us with crack cocaine, heroin. We fought against the war on drugs, and we are still here. We started from the bottom and now we're here. We are some of the richest Africans on the planet, pound for pound. The most educated group of Africans on the planet. We have a very unique identity because we started not with a foot up, but we started in the ditch. And we still maintain who we are in a society that promotes assimilation. We still retain and celebrate our own individual cultural expressions. That's greatness. And that uniqueness has become an act of resilience and empowerment for Black folk. Give yourself a hand. We dance different. Whether it's spirituals or gospel music, which is rooted in the African American church experience. And these genres of music have profoundly influenced American music. I ran it down before: jazz, blues, hip hop, the dance styles, whether it be the Charleston. This brother here, let me show you something. He gonna bust into the Charleston when he put one hand in front of one foot in front. Look at it, I'm gonna show you. He done went through all the cultural dances. This brother right here, it looked like the Sea Walk, but that's the Charleston right there, the Lindy Hop. You guys know break dancing, the Harlem Shake dancing. This is all Black. Don't forget who you are, brothers. Even our language and our vernacular, even the way we speak, our so-called Ebonics or African American vernacular English, AAVE. Somebody type AAVE. It's a unique dialect and it's influenced mainstream English. Even our slang phrases and our terms and expressions, this originated in the African American community. And it's adopted widely in its popular culture. This is who we are. Our imprint on the world is outstanding and far and wide. Whether you're talking about the jungles of Asia or the high rises of Dubai, African Americans, foundational Black Americans, have had a great effect. The hairstyles, whether it's afros, braids, locks, and this reflects our cultural pride and heritage. Now it's the appropriate time for it or not. But bottom line is, this is who we are. Even the streetwear originating from, Black communities in the main, in urban inner cities, has influenced global fashion. We have a special history, a history of resilience, of overcoming adversity, from slavery to emancipation. And this sort of resilience has demonstrated through the centuries that we are willing to fight for our freedom. That's what separates us. Our struggle for equality and justice, exemplified by those great civil rights leaders and nationalists. The Black church has been a cornerstone in our community, in our activism, in our cultural preservation. This is us. We even supplied our own money. Our communities. We provided financial support for us. The government didn't come help us. We did it ourselves. So remember that. Brothers, it's time for you brothers. Look, you need to embrace the positive aspects of Black culture and identity, because that's going to empower you Black men to stand firm in who you are. Despite the social pressures to conform and assimilate and also to look down upon some aspects of Black culture, which should be because they're negative, it ain't all bad. And this empowerment is both crucial for personal and collective advancement. You need to begin to embrace the power, the rich and positive aspects of Black culture, because that's good for you. And it's also good for all of us, because a strong sense of cultural identity, it fosters community solidarity, brothers. When you are proud of your heritage, you're more likely to support each other, and you're more likely to work towards a common goal. And see, there's strength in unity. And what this does is it builds bonds that are unbreakable. Whether you in Rome or Romania, whether you in Compton or Copenhagen, when you see your brother, you'll have an unbreakable bond there. It creates a support system. You're special. Somebody typed the Black man is special in the chat room. Come on now, play the game. Somebody typed the Black man is special in the chat room. I want you brothers to embrace your cultural identity, because it acts as a powerful form of resistance against this systematic oppression and racism that's worldwide. You're gonna need each other. And what it does is it signifies to the world, hey, despite these external efforts to demean or diminish Black men, we remain proud and unapologetic. Come on now. And the resistance is not just about defiance. It's about a reaffirmation of our worth and our rich heritage. And what this is, and what it should be, and what you should take this as, is part of a larger movement towards cultural affirmation and empowerment within our marginalized subgroup as Black men. We catching it from our own lovely ladies and the government and society at large. And so we, more than anybody else, have to begin to embrace the power, the positive aspects of our culture and our identity. And we need to reclaim the narrative, and we need to do it now. So I want you brothers, I'm gonna urge you to recognize and celebrate the unique aspects of our culture and our identity, and stand firm. Somebody type stand firm in the chat room. Somebody type stand firm in the chat room. Come on now. I need you to hear me, brothers. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Stand firm. Stand firm. Let me see it. Somebody type stand firm in the chat room. Stand firm in who you are. Be proud of your roots. Understand that as Black men, our strength lies in our unity, our resilience, and our unapologetic embrace of our culture. See, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving and advancing collectively. So let's move forward with pride. Let's move forward with pride, determination, and an unwavering commitment to uplift one another. That's what I want you brothers to do. Somebody type soul brother number 1 in the chat room. Somebody type Black men winning in the chat room. Somebody type Black men winning in the chat room. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. Y'all hit the number 1 button, man. Y'all make sure that if you haven't already, you subscribe to the channel. We're marching close to 70,000. I need less than 240 people to get to 70,000. So if you haven't been subscribing, you make sure you go ahead and subscribe now. I would greatly appreciate that. That would be outstanding. Let's get me to 70,000. 70,000 Black men is where we at. Y'all make sure y'all hit the number 1 button. I'll be right back.
I want to see you win. And I put pressure on us men to understand how we did not get our masculinity training. And we've been doing our work, okay? But now it's time for you ladies to understand you're going to have to bet on us like you want us to bet on you. I talked to several men this week. I don't just get on here and talk shit. I have men I call around the world and I ask, what do you think about this concept? Level set me. Shout out to brother Dennis Spurling. Dennis, I'm not gonna well, I don't want to tell people's business, but I'm gonna tell you, high value men retire their women or make them come work for them. So ladies, what is it going to take for you to free yourself? Because you and I both know you're dying at these jobs. You're in a toxic
and such and so forth. But when you hit that golden age of 40 and you realize, the world is yours at 40. Because now you're still young enough to make decisions, but you're wise enough to understand the decisions you should make. See, these are things that golden
active and my husband's black. Of course he's an active and present father. My husband's black. Of course he has a job with a 6-figure income. My husband's black. Of course he owns his own home. My husband's black. Of course he's patient and calm and not easily angered. My husband's black. Of course he has his own vehicles. My husband's black. Of course he doesn't have a criminal record. My husband's black. Of course he pays his own bills. My husband's black. Of course he has a master's and bachelor's degree. My husband's black. Of course he supports his family. So I saw something where it said that in every man there is a king and there's a fool. And if you speak to the fool, then that's the one that emerges. But if you speak to the king in that man, then the king is who he becomes.
Have pride in yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's the other thing. Don't let this world keep kicking you and making you feel like you're not good enough. You plenty. I don't care if you're 10 pounds, 50 pounds overweight, 30 pounds underweight. You don't make enough money. You make too much money. You're too tall. You're too short. You're perfect the way you are. And I want you brothers to begin to take that. A lot of you guys did not have father figures to reinforce these things in you. You don't have that manly fatherly love supporting you in the back of your head saying, son, you can go out there. The world is yours. I'm not your father's, but I love you like I'm your own uncle. We all want people. And so I'm telling you, brothers, I love you as a person that most people would say is successful. I'm telling you, the opportunity is out there. And most of you guys are doing much better than I was at your age. You're more confident. You got the world. You got the benefit of people like me who've made mistakes. And I want to see you ball. That's it. Yeah. Somebody type, I want to see your ball in the chat room. Yeah. Somebody type, I want to see your ball in the chat room, baby. If you know how to spell baby, somebody type baby in the chat room. I want to see your ball. Yeah, man. But anyway, it's time to talk to all the people. Give a big shout out to everybody who came through with the super chats and the cash apps. Let me go ahead and give a big shout out to Nuridin FDNY guy. I'll be joining them as a proud civil servant myself because I just put in as a correctional officer for Nassau County Sheriff's. Big shout out to you. Big shout out to all the folks in law enforcement, all the brothers who are doing the civil servant, fire department, ambulance, all you guys, man. Thank you so much for keeping the city safe and keeping them running. Big shout out to my man again. He said, I'm proud of my roots because I come from a proud line of civil servants who are black men that serve New York City and the state pride. Let me tell you something. The quickest way to the middle class for black men is to the military or the civil service, whether it's police or fire department. When the Irish and the Italians came and immigrated to New York, the Irish took over the police department, the Italians took over the fire department, and that's why they all are able to live out there in Long Island and do well for themselves. So you better get you one of these good government jobs and keep it and hold on and make it better for your family. Thank you so much. And the brother came back again. Hey, just to let you know that the lovely Quangs are following black men with passports and pretending to be foreign women for free hotels. Look, man, There's only so much they can do. They're going to play these games, but they can't do what we do. Somebody type, they can't do what we do in the chat room. Big shout out to my man, Too Tall. Thank you so much. He says for the super sticker. Also, big shout out Mark the Freelancer. Thank you. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate it. Who else we got up in? Johnny Harris. Hey, Uncle D. When my daughter graduated from University of Cincinnati, they had an African-American graduation. My wife and I truly enjoyed it. And we go to another one. Cool. Here's the thing, brothers. If it's time to express yourself, if the Soul Train line pops up, I do not want to hear about you out here trying to pretend that you are a Negropean. You're a black man. Embrace your black culture. Yeah, there's a time and place for everything. You shouldn't be sea walking across the you in courtroom busting a sea walk. No, that's inappropriate. But when it's time for you to shine and it's time for you to do your thing, every group of people has a time for their cultural celebrations. And there's nothing wrong with you being you amongst your people when it's that time. If they provide you that opportunity, don't be so stuck up. Don't be so whitewashed that you can't get back to your black selves. That's all I'm trying to tell you. I'm not telling you to get out there and be degenerate, hanging out the side of car windows and riding down the street. That's not part of us. That's just degeneracy. But there are some things that are authentically black, authentically African, and we need to begin to embrace that. That's who we are. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. You can achieve, but not at the expense of losing yourself. Exactly. Stay strong and steadfast, black men. We are the culture. There's a reason all them black American GIs had descendants everywhere we went. Look, let me explain to you something, man. The rest of the world loves African American. The rest of the world loves black men. They love you just how you are, with your black selves, with your peanut head, with your broad nose, with your dark skin, light skin self. They love your swag. They love everything about you. Your nappy hair. They love everything about you, brothers. All you got to do is just go ahead and embrace yourself. Stop running from your black self. Life is better. You're fine just how you are, brother. You don't need to be anybody else other than yourself. Yeah, there's a role that you have to play when it's time to play it. When it's time to be business, you got to be business oriented. But you're a black man. Don't lose your soul. Do not lose your soul in this hunt for success in this world. Shout out to Deacon Salty Balls. Uncle D is understanding. He went to middle school and high school with at least 4 different fashions of the 1980s LA. When banging was at his all-time high, please understand the odds that were stacked against him to thrive and achieve despite the cat. Tell me about it. And I ain't even tell you, I went to Weems Elementary on 37th Street, which means I went to school in a whole nother rolling 30s. Then I went to John Muir, which is over there in a blue rag affiliated school. And then I went to Manual, which is over there with some NHCs and some. Look, I'm lucky to be alive. And it's the reason why I speak so passionately to you black brothers about how important life is and how important making a mark is. And this is why I love you so much, because I've lost so many brothers. I can run off a list of black men that were smarter than me, more qualified than me, more educated or more intelligent than me, better athletes than me, and they're not here. And I look up and I'm 50 years old and I remember back to some of my friends that I had when I was 15, 16 years old, and they're not here. And so part of what I do is I live for them because they live through me. That's that African tradition. I never forgot who I was. You see, I'm still this little black boy growing up on the east side of LA. You understand? At the end of the day, this is still me. This little redhead black boy with his thumb in his mouth, that's still me. Right there with the little shirt. That's still my family. You understand? And you all will look at that picture right now and say, damn, that's pretty ghetto. That's my people though. And I don't run from that. I'm still that guy. I still got the same horrible hairline. You understand? That's who I am. And I never got away from who I am. I know who I am. I love who I am. No matter whether I'm in the Dominican Republic or Colombia, whether I'm overseas in England, I'm still that little homie from the east side of Los Angeles. That's me. This is still me right here. 60th and Normandy. I'm still D. I'm still this dude right here. 21 years old, Venice Beach, Chuck Taylor's, swap meet jeans, tank top from the swap meet, gold herringbone. That's still me. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. That's why I love you brothers so much. That's why I'm so tolerant, but that's why I also come down on you brothers who out there acting like Pookie and Ray Ray so hard, because I know the damage you can cause. I know the damage you can cause yourself. And I know the damage you can cause the Black community at large, because I grew up with you. I loved you. I had friends just like you. And I watched them fall by the wayside because of their mistakes that they made and their character flaws. And you were so close. And this is why it breaks my heart to see these things happen. But at this point, as a grown man and as a pragmatist, we got to separate ourselves from you, brothers. You're going to have to leave you behind, because otherwise you're going to destroy the rest of us. Shout out to Deacon Salty Boss. Salute to Uncle D. But damn, the toilet's joy. Yeah, man. You went to Joy, though. Okay, cool. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Who else we got up in here? Let me see. We got another couple that came through. I want to make sure I get everybody who came through and contributed to the super chat before we go on to the Cash App, man. But brother, somebody type Soul Brother #1 in the chat room. And for you guys who don't know, this is how this all started. I posted this video up, and the brother was breaking it down. He was funky with it, man. He was funky with it. And all the brothers did was criticize this black man. And that bothered me. You know, you so caught up into this white world and your white identity, you forget who you are. You're a black man. That's what makes you special. You can do stuff like that. You can break it down like that, man. Somebody type, I want to see you ball in the chat room. I want to see you exuberant, but I don't want to see you lose your black selves. Be authentically who you are. Love yourself first before you expect anybody else to love you. Shout out to my man, Niridin FDNY. Also, I am still studying to get my Class A commercial driver's license so I can drive tractor. That's what's up, man. Congratulations. JT513, Uncle, what's going on? Let me see what you say. You said, what's going on? Black belt in progress. Keep up the good work, man. Everybody needs this martial arts. It's good for the discipline. I think I might write a book again, you guys. I think I'm gonna write another book. And it's gonna be a black father about black fathers raising black sons in America. I think I'm gonna do that. I think if you guys want me to write a book about how to be a successful black father and raise your sons in this environment that we live in right now, let me know. Let me know. I'd like to know. If you guys want me to write that book, I will, and it'll be based solely on my experiences and the experiences of other successful black men. Let me know. If that's something you want me to see, y'all type write the book, Uncle D, in the chat room. Write the book, Uncle D, in the chat room. Let me know. I might do that. Nuruddin also said, I have to ask a question. Where is Kane? Dr. Umar, when brothers do well for themselves, it seems that Kane, Dr. Umar Johnson, only comes around when the brothers are with the busty bunnies. Yeah, you know, here's the thing, man. Some people just feed on the negativity. That's how they get their money. You know, they make negativity a business. You know, it's like those preachers used to preach fire and brimstone, death and hell. And people would show up in church. Some people like to be scared. Some people like to be agitated. But, you know, that's not my understanding. But anyway, again, shout out to you, brothers. I appreciate that. Now let's see if we can move on here to the Cash Apps. I won't read your last name. But yeah, if you guys want me to write that book, man, let me know. Let me see who we got up in here who've contributed to the Cash App. We got, man, let me see. Y'all still with me? Let me know if you're with me, baby. I want to make sure we acknowledge everybody. I don't get a chance to do this. I usually try to get in and get out. But shout out to Mr. Turner. Thank you so much. Mr. Hennigan. Thank you so much. Irv, Mr. Mulkey, Mr. Sick with it, yo, Mr. Simmons from yesterday, I believe, Friday. Mr. Turner, Steve, everybody, man. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys for kicking in on the Cash App and the super chat here. We still got, man, my man Nuridan is coming through, bro. Shout out to you, bro. I felt the same way when I got my Class B commercial driver's license with school bus tanker, passenger EdMat endorsement. It was proud. Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. Yeah, it's okay to be authentically who you are. And it's okay for you to express your blackness in a way that, you know, soothes your soul. You understand what I'm saying? So, somebody said, brother, he got that Caribbean hairline. I know, huh? Ain't that something, man? But look, like I said, I met my dad, and I don't want to get off on the tangent, but that's my dad right there, man. Look at that dude, man. Look at that man. You know what I'm saying? When I saw him for the first time 12 years ago, I'm like, damn, yeah, that's my dad right there. We got the same hairline. I know I cut it off a little bit, but me and this man look just alike. He just darker than I am. And these are my sisters. This little girl behind me, that's my sister. I mean, like, golly. It's such a shame when Black women think they can replace your real daddy with somebody else, man. It's just like we not mix and match puzzles, man. But yeah, I do have a Caribbean hairline. Again, I wasn't raised by these folks, you know, and this man, and it's unfortunate, but maybe that's what God's plan was. God wanted my cultural experience and my African experience to be 100% foundational Black American, and I'm cool with it. And so, you know, it's interesting now, having been raised as a foundational Black American and then come to find out, and this me, and like I said, if you see my Aunt Geneva on the right, that's exactly what my mom looks like. And you can see she's a light-skinned woman. And then you look over here at my grandma sitting down with that yellow dress and that wig on her head. You know, you can see. And as a matter of fact, you can see my Uncle Robert. He's a little darker than I am, but for the most part, my granddaddy was a light-skinned Black man. So the bottom line is, it's just a trip. You know, my cultural experience has definitely been foundational Black American 100%. I don't know why y'all keep saying I'm a Mexican. That just don't even make sense. I'll be the biggest Mexican ever. Have you seen me? Have you seen me in person? I'm like 6'4", 305 pounds. I will be the biggest Mexican in America right about now. But either way, I love you guys. God bless y'all, man. You know, I'm doing the best I can to represent you brothers. I went from this dude right here. Look at that. That's Uncle D back in the day. That's your Uncle D. That's who I was back in the day. And then I went from that fella to this guy right here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna see if I can pull a picture up. I went from that guy to this dude. You know what I'm saying? Still the same dude, but just very different. You know, so there's hope, brothers. But anyway, God bless y'all. Love y'all. We're going to give you guys a little treat. Let me see what we can do. Man, y'all still coming through with the Cash Apps, man. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do this. I'm going to pull a video up. Y'all contribute to the Cash App. I hate to leave while y'all still showing me love like this. I mean, I thought y'all would anything. Nobody's going to show up today. I thought y'all was going to be busy doing what y'all doing, playing Tonkin dominoes somewhere, talking about your jobs. But y'all came through real tough, man. But let me give you a little treat. I got a little treat for you. I like this. Shout out to my man, Big Bass Life. You want to keep contributing, man, keep on contributing. And in the meantime, check this out.
That's why successful people move out of these areas where you have people who are, as far as I'm concerned, acting in degenerate manner. You robbing, you stealing. Your second, you always looking for an opportunity to prey on somebody else. Breaking in cars, selling drugs to your own people. robbing, stealing. You can't have anything around people like that. You can't even have peace of mind. You always worried about somebody running up in your house, hurting your family. If you have daughters, you can't have them around these bunch of low-life, degenerate Pookie and Ray Ray types. All they're gonna do is turn those women out. Your daughters will be turned out, and she'll be another statistic. The problem that we have in the black community is we don't separate ourselves from the degenerates. We don't separate the upper class, the people, and it's not even about money. The people who have class and dignity are forced to hang out with the lowlife. Otherwise, you consider not down. You can't come to the cookout. Man, F the cookout.
Tell him we back, we working. Uncle D here, we working. On them tracks, I'm murking. Guess we black on purpose. Close my eyes, I'm purple. Never go white, no Urkel. Only real ones in my circle. Aryan post, fuck Herschel. Similac boy might burp you. Shit in your pamper, you smurf you. Bitch ass nigga need a curfew. Watch these lanes, they'll murk you. Ain't no homie won't jerk you. O's out here that surf you. Listen that right off Kirkwood. Big bass, yes, my work good. Big thing poppin' no Lizzo. Blizzard King shit, yeah, Blizzo. Terrorist kid shit, hizzo. Tussle a bitch, let the kids go. Used to be fine where the hips go. Zoo time, now she a hippo. 60 years old, now she wanna get a shit pro.
Was that if you're over 38 and you haven't married or something like that, that you're no good and disposable? To me, it was a shock jock. And, you know, I hope this is teaching folks a lesson about the karma. So, you know, the fact that he killed over real quick and was supposedly with a woman that we don't yet know the nationality.
Shut up, Vivica Fox. Who gives a shit what you give, Vivica Fox? You can't keep a man.
Many months later.
What are you looking for at this stage, this point?
A partner.
Yeah.
And when I say a partner, I want someone that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's not intimidated by who and what I am.
Yeah.
That likes to travel.
Yeah.
Going to let me go shopping.
Yeah.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Flooding out here, no sprinkles. Kids in the car need a tinkle. Looking for a man full of wrinkles. She wanna touch them ankles. Remember that body was sizzle. Niggas used to pay for the bizzle. Now we don't lock no hizzo. It's a out here, drizzle drizzle. It's cold outside, it's a blizzard, it's a blizzard. Don't go outside, they may get you, they may get you. You know black women, they go missing, they go missing. A hard head mixer so ass, you won't listen. It's cold outside, it's a blizzard, it's a blizzard. Don't go outside, they may get you, they may get you. You know black women, they go missing, they go missing. A hard head mixer so ass when you don't listen.
What do you think is going to happen when they start incarcerating black women? Those who didn't get caught up in that hood rat behavior. You a good girl, and you hanging out with these hood rats. You a decent woman, and you feel that in order to fit in, you got to do all this extroverted sexual behavior just to try to fit in with these grimy, low-life scallywags out here. That's not you.
Zaddy out here, he ain't playing no games. Got a fatty out here, got a basement full of chains. Want the biracial kids, the house in the supper room. Next year, he'll be sending your ass to the upper room. Keisha, oh no, is it cheaper? Just let her go, get your visa. Hit the road, you don't know, they got dimes everywhere. Close your eyes and pick a hole. Blazer King back, we working. Uncle D here, we working. On them tracks, I'm murking. Guess we black on purpose. Close my eyes, I'm purple. Never go white, no Urkel. Only real ones in my circle. Aryan plus fuck Herschel. Similac boy might burp you. Shit in your pamper, you smurf you. Bitch ass nigga need a curfew. Watch these lanes, they'll murk you. Ain't no homie won't jerk you. Hoes out here, they'll surf you. Isn't that right off Kirkwood? Big bag, yes, my work good.
That ass, though.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Somebody thought we working in the chat room, man. Big shout out to everybody who's still contributing to super chats. I ain't gonna be here too much longer, man, but I want to make sure I get everybody. So sometimes I'm not able to do it in the backyard. Salute to the Merchant Marines. It's working. Shout out to Cody Marshall. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, brother. And who else we got? Nuruddin again. He said, well, I have to say, if it wasn't for those busty snow bunnies, my niece and nephew wouldn't be here. So thank you, busty Latinas, and add busty. I'm not going to even say that. Big shout out to you, man. Ant Boy Unleashed, keep up the great work. Man, I will, man. I would definitely do that. JT513, we all we got. Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. Big shout out to everybody. Look, I type soul brother #1 in the chat room, man. Somebody type soul brother #1 in the chat room. Brothers, I don't want you to forget who you are. Don't forget your black selves. Wherever you go, wherever you are, it's perfectly acceptable for you to be you. Be your best you. There's a time and place for everything. But when it's time for you to express your cultural, whatever's inside you, because that soul that's in you, and I'm gonna close my eyes so I can, I can get in contact with myself, baby. Whatever's inside you is gonna come out. You guys know I have 6 albums out. And you can find me if you type if you type Dennis Spurling on the internet, YouTube, my music will show up. Some of the music that I often have playing in the background on Instagram is music that I've actually produced. That's me. That's my soul coming out of me. This track that you guys hear playing in the background that I have running over and over again, this one right here, this is from one of my albums. You know what I mean? And produced by Beans and Cornbread, And so what I'm saying is, that's who I am. Never forget who you are. It's okay to be the full range of man that you are, but don't forget your blackness, man. Never forget that you're a black man. It's that soul that you have. That's that soul, that deep inner part of you that's irreplaceable, that can't be duplicated or imitated. That's you. And that's who you are. Everything that's great that has come up out of Black America, that the whole world talks about, has come from the mind or the efforts of a black man. Even the way in which some of our black women who singers and other talent, oftentimes, whether it's a Richard Williams, it's a black man behind it. It's the vision of the black man, and you brothers need to pay homage to that and appreciate that, man. Appreciate where we come from. We're unique on this whole planet. There's never been another group of people like us. Most people who come up out of slavery, they get assimilated into the mass culture and it's forgot about. But we still here, we holding it down, and we still doing great things. Somebody type black men winning in the chat room. Somebody type soul brother number 1 in the chat room. And I'm gonna give the soul brother number 1 reward, the first ever soul brother number 1 award goes to Jesse Williams, also known as Little Boy Blue, who graduated recently from UC, I believe it's UC Irvine. This brother hit it up. You see what I mean? He did that. And at the end of the day, I grew up with young brothers like that, man, and I know what he had to came from. You get the number 1 soul brother number 1 award. You understand me? Why? I'm gonna show y'all this. Bam! Oh, look at that. Come on, bam! Come on, one more time. Bam! Up! Look at that, baby. You can't stop that. Come on. You can give it to me now. Come on, give it. I ain't gonna go. There it is. All right, man. yeah, that's right. Look at it with that big, beautiful smile on his face. Ha! That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about, brothers. Y'all don't stop being yourselves, man. I love you. Love yourselves. Love yourselves, brother. You're never going to hear nothing else like this on the internet, man. Love yourselves. Uncle D loves you. I want to see you ball. You understand me? I want to see you ball. I want to see you make it to the top of the mountain, man, and tell me about it, man. Send me a telegram. Send me a page. I'm going to go dig my Sky pager up out my trunk, man. From back in the 1990s, man. I want to see you balling. I want to see you do well, but you could still be a baller. You could still do well and maintain your black selves. That's all I want for you, brothers. What's the point of gaining the world if you lose your soul? And that would be such a shame, all we've come through. And you allow yourself to be tricked and fooled and bamboozled by this society. And to giving up the most important aspect of who you are, and that's your blackness. Y'all think about that, man. Nevertheless, this is Uncle D. I'm out.
Dennis Spurling Podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe.